what's going on, everybody? Today, I just wanted to talk about the XRP potential ETF that's coming out following the lawsuit. I really believe the lawsuit should be ending soon, but you know how the government is and all the corruption that lies within it. It's very hard to say, but it's kind of looking like it's going to be either this month or next month. We could have a potential resolution. If that's the case, then we could see a Ripple XRP ETF. I know it's March 15th, which is even more bullish in my opinion because it's thus getting closer, right? The Uphold Bank executive, Martin Heisbeck, I'll just say Martin, is optimistic that Ripple XRP is set for a major rise and hints that an XRP ETF is around the corner. I think it is as well. Here's why I think that. Number one, we have Bitcoin approved. You can say, well, yeah, but that's Bitcoin, obviously. I mean, Bitcoin has to be. Well, yeah, that's true. But here's the thing. Which coin has more volume? XRP, right? Bitcoin has the most volume, obviously. Ethereum, XRP has tremendous volume, right? So BlackRock and people like that who want to approve ETFs, they're looking for volume. They're looking for how long has the chart been trading? How are they continuing to develop? In this case, Ripple, the company, is the secret sauce, right? XRP is the heartbeat. They also have all these partnerships and things like that. So the ETF is more likely to be in XRP's hands very soon, especially once this lawsuit is finished. I think the lawsuit will be ending sometime soon, and following that will be an ETF. And it's interesting because if you look at the XRP price chart, we always do on this channel, right? I'm not a fundamental guy, but I like to touch on it every now and then. So the chart suggests we could see something in the not too distant future, a big breakout, because we already have the bull market, right? We've been in a consolidation range for 6 years, right? We had a big bear market, and then the previous bull run was not a bull run for XRP. It was only a retracement. Following that bear market, XRP was always in a bear market. Instead, instead of entering its bear market, it entered reaccumulation, right? So now it's been trending sideways. A lot of people look at the chart. They don't want nothing to do with it, right? Because they can't see the bigger picture here. Successful investors don't buy giant green candles. They buy sideways action with utility, right? And you see Ripple, the company, hanging out with the IMF. He's hanging out with, the BIS, hanging out with the World Bank. I mean, the World Bank's producing documents about XRP, right? You have the CEO sitting around the tables with Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority, right? The Chief Monetary Authority of Hong Kong. I mean, you got Christine Lagarde, right? You got some high level people, and then you look at the Ripple board members. I mean, you have a former former Secretary of Treasury on the board of Ripple, right? You have different board members who've been in regulations. You have different board members who worked with certain government entities, certain central banks. So they are very well connected, right? It's not like they rolled out of bed and decided to make some meme coin, right? Now, people don't relate to that. Why? Because they only think about price. It's all about price all of the time. If you're not seeing big explosions, people don't care. They really don't care. They have no interest in XRP. One, they say it's a banker coin. Number two, it's done absolutely nothing. Number three, you have Ripple, the company, has 50 billion in escrow. And these are all total disconnects from the bigger picture here. So to me, the XRP ETF is just another piece of ammunition because XRP and Ripple, the company, have plenty. So, I mean, for example, everybody knows about the big Dogecoin bull market, right? Well, XRP hasn't even broken this top. XRP is way down here. Dogecoin is way up here. XRP is way down here, right? So there's so much, and they're hanging out with big level people, right? So XRP has been going sideways just like Dogecoin did, right? Look at Dogecoin. Look at this. You have this massive, massive explosion to the upside. Now, how did we get that explosion, right? Was it because Elon Musk tweeted it out? Well, that surely gave us some momentum, right? But look at this explosive move. Now, how did Dogecoin get this? Well, in order to get this monster move, you need to go sideways. You need to create a base, right? You need to create the foundation. You need to have a layer of support, right? This is sideways. The bigger the base, the higher in space. Now, if you look at XRP and you zoom all the way out, the whole thing is a base, right? Look at this. It's the same thing. So what do you think's going to happen here, right? Dogecoin is way up here. It already went sideways. It already had a massive breakout. And now it went down. It's coming back up. Why would I want anything to do with that when the big boy hasn't even woken up yet? You can clearly see, look at this, the base, right? XRP is right here. So you have, look at this, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So pay attention to number 4, right? Now look at this. I zoom out. Look at this. Same thing. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's 5? Where? Tell me where the hell is 5? I don't see 5. I don't see 5. 5 is coming, my friends. 5 is coming, right? Look what's been going on in wave 4. The exact same thing, just much, much smaller, right, for Dogecoin. Sideways base, wave 4. So XRP is going to get this big, giant breakout. I'm pretty confident in that. Now, it might not happen today, it might not happen tomorrow, next month, or even the next 6 months. I think it will happen within, I would like to see it this year. I think it has a good potential for this year. Now, if you look at XRP from a technical perspective as well, we have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways breakout. Same thing. We have a rise, crash, reaccumulation, right? Or sorry, rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways. So we're going sideways right here, just like we went sideways right here. In order to get this here is eventually going to come here. And that will be the exact same thing that Dogecoin did, right? Now, where did Dogecoin hit? What Fibonacci level did Dogecoin hit? This is going to blow your mind right now. This is so insane what I'm about to show you. It's going to completely blow your mind, like out of this world. So I'm going to put the Fibonacci on. Look at this. Linear scale Fibonacci, it blew it right through the water. Okay? So Dogecoin went all the way up to the equivalent of XRP hitting $13. And it went even higher than that. So let's gauge it. Let's figure out where it went. So if I put it on log scale, and we're going to talk about the ETF. But look at this. Dogecoin went all the way up to the 2.272. Right here. Look at this. 2.272. And the 2. right? So we'll say between, really, it hit the 2.272. You can see it right here. But we'll be conservative. We'll be even more nice, and we'll just say the 2, right? Between the 2 and the 2. Now look at XRP, right? Now let's do the exact same thing. Now remember, XRP hasn't broken out yet, right? This is where legends are made. That's why when you see people talking trash about XRP, it's okay if they're doing it from a fundamental perspective, right? That's not what's bothering me. What bothers me is when they talk about the chart. They say, oh, it hasn't done anything. I say, no, this is the most bullish chart in crypto. Every other chart has already gone, it's way up here. XRP is way down here, has more percentage potential. It's all about percentage potential. Now, let's turn on the Fibonacci retracement. I'm going to take it all the way from here down to the low, right about there. Now, where did Dogecoin hit? You remember? It hit the 2.272. So where's the 2.272? Well, if you do look at the exact same thing, holy fin cow, look at that. Are you telling me that's $90 to $223? XRP, think of it, $223. Why not? Dogecoin did it. Now, I don't think it's going to do that. I don't even think it'll hit $100. I don't think it'll hit 90. I don't even think it'll hit 50. But come on, think about it for a minute. If Dogecoin, a meme coin, hit $223, the equivalent, we're talking equivalent, right? It hit the 2.272. And then it pulls back to the 90, right? Or to the 2, which is $90. That is absolutely remarkable, right? So if I knew that, I would have sold everything I had on my, including the shirt on my back, and put it all on Doge. Because if you got that move here, right, from where XRP is, that's a 10,000 to 20,000 to 30,000% move. You would be a millionaire, right? Now, I'm not saying XRP is going to hit $200 or $90. I'm not saying it's going to do that. What I am saying is, if Dogecoin did the same thing, remember, let's look at it now here. We have 1, 2, 3. We're in 4. Then we get 5. Now look at Doge. It's the same thing here. Let me stretch this out a little bit. And by the way, where is Doge at currently? Doge is in between the 2 and the 1.702. So we'll look at it. Same thing like XRP. We have our range down here, right? And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 hit the 2.272 and the 2. So go back to XRP real quick. Look at this. Same thing. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's 5? I don't see 5. We still are waiting for 5. As soon as we get 5, look at that. Now, I'm not saying it's going to $200 or even $100. What I'm saying is, if Dogecoin had a big base similar to this one, and it went up here, XRP's base, right? Dogecoin's base is this big. XRP's base is twice as big. That doesn't mean it's going to go higher. What it means is there's more conviction, there's more confidence in the next wave, right? Now, again, I'm not saying it's going to go to $200. What I'm saying is, if Dogecoin hit the 2.272, the equivalent of $220, the equivalent of $90, then surely XRP can at least go to $10. I mean, Dogecoin hit 223, so why can't XRP hit $10? It's common sense, right? And you could say, well, I mean, I don't think it'll hit $223. Why? Because the market cap would be insane, and people talk about that all the time. Oh, I can't do that because of the market cap, blah blah blah. And I agree with them. The market cap would have to be bigger than Bitcoin. It would have to be in the trillions and trillions of dollars, right? Now, I'm not saying it can't happen in the future, just maybe not right now, right? I think eventually XRP will get over $50 at some point. And then I think eventually over $100. Now, I don't know about anything over than that. People say 10,000, people say 1,000. And I just, I don't really think too much about it, right? Now, if Ripple succeeds as a company and they do what they say and they tackle the derivatives market, the FX market, payments, they're a neutral bridge asset between different currencies, then yeah, they can get up there. But we're nowhere near that. But at least we can get to $10, right? So what I want to talk about is this right here, $25. I would say between $25 and $26. Now, there is a good potential chance that XRP can hit $27. Okay? $27. So if I take it down to here, that $25, $26 mark. So we'll just say $25. There's a good chance we can do that. That's the 1618 of log scale. Now remember, Dogecoin was all the way up here. So why can't XRP hit that? And if it can't hit that, then at least we can hit that. I mean, come on, if Dogecoin went all the way up there, then why can't XRP simply do something like that? So these are the three levels. Well, I would actually say these are the three levels down here. The first level, I think it's pretty confident. The second level, I think we have a good chance. The third level, it would take a miracle. It would take more than a miracle. So I'm not that moon boyish, right? I'm just living in a common sense world. I showed you the complete structure of Dogecoin and XRP. It looks unbelievably, incredibly close, like insane. And I'll just do it one more time. You can see this base down here, right? And we're looking for wave 5. We have a 1, 2, 3. We're in 4, waiting for 5. And when's 5 going to come? Well, look at this. We have rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways breakout. We have rise, crash, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways. We're waiting for the breakout. We also have A, B, C, D, E, go. We have A, B, C, D, E. Now we're in the middle of E. Maybe E's not finished yet. Then we can go. That's kind of how it looks to me. So, people look at it and say, it's 59 cents. It was the same price as it was back in 2018. It's the same price it was back in June of last year. I mean, we've been going sideways since May 2022. It's not very sexy to a lot of crypto investors that are on YouTube and things like that. It's not performing to their standards, right? So they don't talk about it. And then add the XRP banker coin on top of it. They really don't want to talk about it, right? But those are the kind of coins that I like, where there's so much energy in them, right? You either love it or you hate it, right? There's so much stored energy. It's like an emotional, right? It's almost kind of like, those crystals, they emanate certain frequencies, I guess. I don't know, but, Nikola Tesla says, think in terms of energies and frequencies. Now, to me, XRP has a lot of energy stored into it, right? Rather if it's love or hate or whatever. And you can see it's being suppressed. I mean, look at, we are below this high here. We are below this high. Look at Dogecoin. I'm going to go to the exact same high. That's this high right here. So we're down in here. We haven't broken this high yet, right? So you could see all the energy that gets stored. It's like a coiled spring, and then bam. Same thing, go back to XRP, right? you have this coiled spring. I mean, you can see it's getting tighter. Now we're in the middle, right? It's getting tighter and tighter, and you can see the triangle, the demand, the supply line and the demand line, right? And you can see volatility flattening out. You can see it's volatile, volatile, less volatile, less volatile. It's getting tighter, tighter, tighter. Eventually, it's going to go. Now, if it doesn't go, at some point it will break out. Either it's going to die or it's going to go to the moon. It's not going to stay where it's at. People go, oh, XRP is a stable coin. It's stable. And they think it's, they talk about the stable coin. Well, no. Yeah, it is actually been stable. But if you're, Warren Buffett, do you buy a stock that's already gone up so much? Or do you buy a stock that has proved itself, has utility, and has gone sideways, building a proper base of support and is prone to go up, right? So Dogecoin, right? It went all the way up to the 2.272, way up here. Everybody gets, oh my God, it's so exciting. That's like, would you buy XRP at $200? No, you wouldn't. So why would you buy Dogecoin at that price? It's the same Fibonacci price. Now, of course, market cap has a lot to do with it and things like that. But anyways, I think once we get this big wave, we have a big crash, and then we have a retracement, right? So that's kind of my main idea. Now, how high do I think it can go? Well, let's do a conservative. We'll do the same thing, but we'll do it from here. So we'll do it from the retracement level down to the reaccumulation. So that's extremely conservative, right? So so Dogecoin went to the 2.272. So that's $23 XRP. So I think that's totally possible. And that would, that would actually make sense, because it would be between the $13 and $23. Yeah, that would actually, I like that. Instead of doing it, that's too freakishly high. But when we do it from here, from this high to this reaccumulation low, that totally makes sense to me. So I think $23 is not out of the realm of possibility. So now I'm pretty dang confident we can get up to here, right? So let's do a little measurement here. From the current price up to the 1618, that's about 1,000%. That's pretty good. Now a little bit higher, that's about 1,200%. Not bad at all. Now getting up to that $10, that's 1,600%. That's pretty good. Now think about it like this. The successful investor, they don't just buy a little bit hoping it goes up. They buy over years and years and years, right? I mean, you work a job, I assume, and you get a paycheck every 2 weeks. Or a week, or every month, or whatever. You take a percentage of that, and every single check, however much you can afford, not financial advice, but just as an example, people take that percent and they put it into crypto every single month, every single year, every single week, whatever the case may be. And then by the time you know it, and 5 years later, you have a big fat bag, right? But if that coin were to go up on year 2, you wouldn't have year 3 to 5 to accumulate, right? So, being in this big thing here is actually a blessing in disguise. People say, "Oh, it's not doing anything. It's dead. It's flat. It's stable. It's this. It's that." But that's what you need. Look at Dogecoin. That's what it did. In order to get the pump, it wasn't that long though, but you can see just how sideways it went. Right? Going up and down, doing nothing, boring. I don't want it. I don't like it. Sell, FUD, blah, blah, blah. Then they all sell. Then what happens? Boom. boom, explosion, boom, explosion, right? You don't know when that explosion is going to come. You just know it will eventually at some point come. You're not worried about when it comes because for all you care, you want it to continue going sideways. That way you can continue, you know, working at your job, stacking coins, right? Do you want to work at your job for the rest of your life? No. Chances are you want to retire. Well, the only way you can I don't know, depending how much money you make, right? My job, my last job, I made $20 and some change an hour. I'm living in Southern California. Not two people admit how much money they make, right? When I was working at my job. I paid half of a mortgage. I paid utilities. I paid food, insurance. And whatever I had left, right? Whatever I had left, I stuck it into crypto. I put it into Bitcoin. I put it into XRP. I put it into Theta. I did very well with Theta. I put some in Chainlink. I did very well with Link. I put it in VeChain, did very well. The one that hasn't paid me out yet is XRP. Does that mean I'm going to quit? No, I'm still adding and adding and adding and adding, right? Because I know at some point it will do something phenomenal. Now, it could be wrong. It could go down. It could be a complete disaster. But based off everything I've seen fundamentally and the people Ripple hangs out with, the board members, the certain bankers, right? The Secretary of Treasury, the ECB, the IMF, the World Bank talking about it. I mean, you have the XRP ETF, you have the freaking lawsuit, you have the price not breaking above it. Look at the risk level. XRP's way down here. Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Solana, all those coins, they're all way the hell up here. So they're much more overvalued. To me, from a risk perspective, XRP hasn't even broke above this. That's like Bitcoin being at 10K, right? It's like Bitcoin being at, 7, 8, 10K. So it's cheap, right? And it's doing nothing. It's going ranging up, down, right? It's ranging. So that's what you want, right? Year after year after year. Now, when I bought Chainlink, I didn't have a lot of time to accumulate that asset. So I didn't, when the asset went really, really high, yeah, it was great, but I didn't have so much invested in it because when you look at Chainlink, it's gone up, 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 right? So here's Chainlink right here. Where's the base at? This is the base right here. That's where I got in as soon as it got listed on Coinbase. I was buying it. And the person who brought me onto it was Data Dash. He talked pretty nice of it, and I looked into it, and I go, you know what, I'm going to go for it. So I got in. But look how much time, right? If you work a job and you have paychecks, right? Like everybody in the world does, you only had from, January of 2018, you probably only had a year. Now, a lot of people don't just buy this whole thing, they're buying other coins as well. So I don't know how many times I bought, but I made some really, really good returns. So I was buying here. I was buying all over the place, dollar cost averaging because we were ranging. But then once we broke out, I stopped. I stopped buying. I stopped. And then we started ranging again. I was accumulating a little bit, but not nearly as much as down here. And then once we got up here, I think $8 to $13, I really sold a lot. But this thing went all the way up to $50. And then once it did that, and then it came back below, and then it had this three-way pullback. I think the highest price I got it was about 30, 33. Maybe I would just say 30. But I didn't get to sell it at 50, but that's okay. I made great amounts of money. But what I'm trying to say is if Chainlink didn't do that, let's say Chainlink was still down here, right? See, this is where you start to think like, you know, an outside investor, not going with the herd. Look at this. Let's say Chainlink it's the same coin. It's a brilliant concept. I think Chainlink's gonna do exceptionally well. It's gonna continue to grow. But what I'm saying is, what if Chainlink didn't go up? Let's say here's its high, right? And then it came back down and it just did this, right? And you're buying and buying and buying and buying and buying and buying and buying, right? Then it went to the moon. Then it went to $50. Now the difference is you have so much more because you worked, right? Look how many years that is. Look how many paychecks that is, right? Some people put 2% of their paycheck, 5%, 10%. Some people put 50% of their paychecks. Some people just put their whole paycheck in, right? I mean, I don't know how you live, but that's what people do. So I would probably put, I actually put a lot, depending on, whatever my expenses were at the time. But what I'm saying is, if Chainlink just went sideways for so long, then it broke out. Now you have much, 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 much more to show for, right? You have a bigger bag. Let's say you had 100 Chainlink here. It goes up. You made great money. But now you have 1,000 Chainlink, and then it went up. Now you have 10 times the amount of Chainlink. So that's what you got to think about with XRP. Now, if Chainlink did this sideways, 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 oh, I don't want nothing to do with it. It's not doing anything. But look, when it broke out, now all of a sudden everybody wants it. So look at this. Now I go back to XRP and you can see, right, we're essentially going sideways. And what's nice is this is our elevated level. So there was our first sideways base. Look what happened. Here's our second sideways base. It's so much bigger, right? So again, imagine this is Chainlink, and instead of it going higher, right? What did Chainlink do? It went like this, and then it kept going. It kept going, and now it's like this, right? So everybody likes that type of price action. But you don't make generational wealth with that price action. You're chasing it, right? Or if you're not chasing it, you don't have enough in the bag to make a substantial financial difference in your life. Maybe you do. I mean, I'm trying to have generational wealth. I'm trying to retire. I'm trying to, pass it down to my kids and grandkids, right? So you need a proper strategy for that, right? And it's great that these coins are pumping, but how much time did you have to accumulate? Most people buy a couple times, it goes way higher, and then they feel like, well, it's going up, now I need to buy more. So then it screws up your average price entry, and then it really doesn't make sense. But if you look at like this, where we're just going sideways, you want it to do that, because eventually it's going to do that. And when it does do that, you want to be in it, right? But that's the thing. Most people, like I said, don't like XRP because it didn't do what Chainlink did. It didn't do what Bitcoin did. It didn't do with Solana and all these other coins, right? They went up too aggressive, too quick. Now, the only way you could have won on that is if you're already rich, right? If you're making six figures and you can throw down, 20, 30, 40 grand on a coin on one order, then fine, that's perfect. But most of us cannot do that. I can't do that. Most of us earn a monthly wage or a weekly wage, right? Most of us have expenses that are, inflation and everything, right? It's expensive, especially depending where you live. I live in Southern California. It happens to be very expensive, right? I mean, look at gas prices, look at grocery prices. So what little money I have left, I stack it. So if you are rich, then you don't need a lot of time. But if you're making, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70,000 a year, which I would say most people do, then you need time. You don't want it to moon today. You don't want it to moon tomorrow. You don't want it to go to the moon even in a year from now, depending on when you got into crypto. Now, if you've been in crypto for the last 5 years, you got yourself an established sack, you're ready to go, right? But if you barely got in 6 months ago or the last bull cycle, I mean, yeah, you probably have a decent size, but think about it like this. If the price were to keep going sideways for the next couple of years, think about how much more you would have. Some people can't handle it though. They can't wait that long. I would rather wait an additional 2 years to have a certain amount. That way, when I sell it at a certain amount, I'll give you an example. Let's say, how much do you want to retire with? Well, let's say XRP is going to hit, we'll just say $10. So if it hits $10, we'll do some math. So let's say you have, 10,000 XRP and it hits $10. That's 100 grand. That's perfect. I mean, that's beautiful. Perfect. But is it going to change your life completely? I mean, yeah, that's a down payment on a house right there. I mean, that can totally change somebody's house. But for me, I'm thinking a little more bigger than that, right? I want something, I mean, 100 grand isn't really much these days, right? So let's say you had $100,000, 100,000 XRP. Now you're talking $1 million. Now you're a millionaire. Great. You can buy a house, you can buy a car, but you can't really, really, really retire, right? Because you'll end up using all your money. You have to have a plan, right? Now, this is perfect for most people. It would, if you've been hodling, I'd say 100,000 XRP is perfect, right? For most people. Um, now, now here's the cool part. You don't have to sell it all at $10. Maybe you sell, 10% and you live off it, right? So let's say give yourself 4 years of money, right? So you have 100,000 XRP, right? Now it's at $10. Instead of selling it all, you only sell 10,000 or 20,000, right? Sell 20%. So now you have 200 grand. Won't 200 grand last you for 3 to 4 years depending on your lifestyle, right? I know it would for me. I mean, it 200,000 could last you at least 4 years, right? 50,000 a year salary. But here's the part: you don't quit your job, though, right? You don't quit your job, so you hold on to it, right? And then what do? Well, let's say the price goes back down to $3 or $4, and let's say it's there for 3 to 4 years. But that's okay, right? That's okay. And then you take some of that, you buy a little bit more. Now the price goes up to say $35, right? And now instead of 100,000, right? Now you have maybe 90,000. But remember, you bought the dip too. So maybe, just an example, now you have this much, right? Now you're in the, you made 200,000 the first time. Now you're at 3.1 million, right? So you keep rinsing and repeating the process. So then you sell another 20%, right? You wait another 5 to 6 years and live off that 20% plus your job. Then you keep doing it, right? And then before you know it, you're at $10 million. You don't need to work anymore. You can just live off, I'm just giving you an example. I don't know, everybody's situation is different, right? I'm just giving you a ballpark way to look at it. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here, not just with XRP, but I'm also in Theta. I'm in a lot of other, not a lot, but a good amount of cryptos that are part of this strategy that I'm using. Now, that strategy has only scratched the surface. I'm going to do much more in depth about how to, because buying is easy, selling is much harder. Buying is so easy to do. You just buy, right? But selling is very hard because you don't want to give it up, right? When you get it, if you buy, here and you get up here, you're not going to want to sell it. It's hard because everybody's so bullish. I mean, look how many people didn't get to sell the last bull run, right? They expected it to continue higher. But here's the cool part. That's why I like the XRP price chart. Most people, like I said, don't like it. But look, since it's going sideways for so long, right? It's going sideways for so long that if you do get a big spike, you don't feel as bad selling it. Why? Because you have a bigger bag. Why? Because it's been going sideways for so long, which has allowed you to accumulate for so long. The longer you accumulate, the more you accumulate, the bigger your bag is. The bigger your bag is, the less problem you have with selling, because you don't have to sell all of it, right? Most people think they have to sell everything. No, right? If you've been accumulating for the last 2 to 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever, you have a big bag, right? And if you don't have a big bag, then you don't want the price to go up. You want it to keep going sideways. And XRP is a bird in the hand. It is a bird in the hand, right? It is a perfect, it's a blessing in disguise, right? So if you have been accumulating through here, right, while other coins have been going up, 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 XRP's been going sideways. Now you have more to show for. You have a bigger bag. So when it goes higher, now you can sell, 5%, 10%, whatever, right? And you still have plenty of XRP left. So it makes it easier psychologically to let go of the asset versus if you only had a small amount and it's not enough. So you hold on and you want the price to be as high as possible. What happens is it ends up coming back and you miss that opportunity, right? So let's say you have 100,000 XRP, it goes up, you sell 10,000, you come back down, you put that 10,000 back in, it goes back up, right? Now you're doing it the right way, right? So now you don't really care if the price keeps going because, or if it keeps dumping, right? Because you can just, the amount that you sold, you can buy it back here, you can buy it back wherever you want, right? Wherever the price goes, dollar cost average. Then when you come back up, just an example, just using it as an example, then, it makes it easier to do things, right? But the problem is a lot of people have like 30 cryptos, 25 different cryptos, right? And you spread yourself too thin, right? They might have $1,000 in one crypto, $800 in another crypto, $700 in another crypto, $1,200 in another crypto, right? And it's just, to me, it's more to manage and, yeah, it's good to be diversified, but you don't need 10, 20 different coins. You just need a solid 3, 4, 5, even tops 8 would do it, right? That way you can build up, when you have too many cryptos, you spread yourself too thin. And again, it's the psychological part. You don't want to give it up because you're looking at whatever coin you have. If you have 10, 15, 20 different coins and they're all about $1,000, $2,000 each, then it's like, well, then they go to let's say they go to 3 or 4,000. It's still like, psychologically, you don't really want to, it's harder to give it up. Versus if you had all that money and only in the 3 to 4 cryptos, it's easier to give it up. And you want to sell it, right? You always want to sell these, these big pumps, and then you buy the dip, right? Look where you are at related to the bull market support band and things like that. So just a little rant there. It's not really a TA video per se. You never know what you're going to get with me. I started out fundamentally, talking about an XRP ETF. I jump to the price comparing it to Doge, and then I'm talking about investment strategies. So it's like, was that quote? Laughs like a bunch. What does he say? Forrest Gump. Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know which one you're gonna get, right? And that's kind of like the way it is, especially with crypto. It's like a box of chocolate. Which one do you want? Do you want the one that looks like, ooh, it looks exotic, that has all the sprinkles on it, right? And that's like one that's already pumped 200%. Or do you want that plain looking one? It doesn't look as appetizing, but then when you bite into it, one of them tastes like ugh, and the other one tastes like heaven, right? I think XRP on the outside looks like just a basic thing. It looks like, nah, not too much, right? But on the inside, when you take a bite, I think it's gonna, you know, you get the idea. So here's the cool part. What is the catalyst to send XRP to the moon? Because I've already done the count here, right? A, B, C, D, and now we're in E. And I think E can be a triangle itself, right? Which you have A, B, C, D, and now we're getting E. It's like that final thing. And then you also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, right? You also have a base here. You broke out of that base. Now you have a second base building upon this on the first base, right? You're sideways breakout, right? That's the motion. You also have the price. Look at this. Still above the bull market support band, right? We're still above it, which is a good thing, right? Let me zoom in a little bit more. Now we fell back below, but we did reclaim it. Now, in the short term, I can, like I've said on the rapid fire video, if you haven't seen that one, I put out a rapid fire series about different coins, but basically some move to the downside, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, maybe we get C, maybe C is a little lower, right? Or maybe C is already finished. But I would say somewhere in here, we're getting pretty close, right? Now, the bearish idea is to say that we break below this trend line. And if we do that, it's actually super incredibly bullish, right? Let's say we come like this and we break to the downside. I think we do that. You know why? Because that's exactly what happened last time. Look at this. If you go back over here, you can see the trend line here, right? You can see this channel. And look what happened. The price came all the way down here. It crashed down here and then went boop, straight to the upside. So if you look at where we are now, if we do get something like that, do not fear. Do not fear. Buy the dip is here, right? Buy the dip. Not financial advice. That's just my perspective. But anyway. So, again, what could be the catalyst? Well, if this is an A, B, C, D, E, then the catalyst is soon. Well, what can it be? Well, off the top of my head, I'm looking at the lawsuit. Now, looking at the lawsuit, we see a lot of people are talking about April. Is it going to end in April? It's hard to say. But this one says Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, what to expect in April. I think this thing could end very soon. The long-standing lawsuit between Ripple and the SEC is set to enter a critical phase with the start of the grand trial at the end of April, right? I don't even know if they're going to get a trial. I think John Deaton has said it's probably not enough for the SEC to get a trial, so the judge might just rule and have a settlement thing, right? The company has game, but to me, the SEC wants a trial because they want to delay, right? They just want to kill time because they're not looking out for me or you. They're looking out for themselves and looking at the optics of this lawsuit because this lawsuit is so important to them because it will set the precedent for the rest of the lawsuits to come. That's why it is so important, even if you don't like XRP, for them to win the lawsuit. And once we win the lawsuit, either way, it's going to end, right? And they already ruled XRP is not a security. They're just finalizing the settlement terms. Or if they disagree on that, they go to trial. But either way, Ripple will win, because at some point the trial, it will end, right? And, you know, XRP will be the only coin with regulatory clarity. That XRP is not a security. I think XRP wanted this lawsuit, right? Ripple wanted it because that was the only way to get regulatory clarity, because Congress wouldn't do it. Nobody would do it, right? So they wanted the lawsuit to happen, right? So once the lawsuit is finished, what do you think is going to happen with the price? Now you're talking about XRP ETF. Now you have Larry Fink at BlackRock saying, okay, I want to add XRP to my list for ETF. Why? Because XRP has a tremendous amount of volume. They have a legitimate company, Ripple. They are the most vetted blockchain company in the world because the SEC has looked at every nook and cranny of their financial documents and everything else. They are very well vetted, right? So they have stood the test of time, right? So it's a top 10 coin, and it's remained in the top 10 despite a lawsuit, despite exchanges delisting, despite the FUD, despite not going on a bull run, right? So incredible strength for me, at least in my eyes. So, when this lawsuit is finished, they're going to tackle this XRP ETF, I think. But let's see. I haven't really even read this one here. The lawsuit between Ripple and the SEC has been going on for 3 years, right? Blessing in disguise, perhaps the most important one, the start of the grand trial scheduled for April 23rd. Its final resolution could have a positive impact on XRP's price if the event of the decisive win for Ripple, of course. The opposite is also much true, but I think even if they lose, I think we will see a big collapse in the price. But I think it'll just be the same as last time where we had that liquidation event. I don't think it's going to be a crash for another several years. I think it's going to be a liquidation event. The whole point of it is not to win or to lose. It's for it to be law. It's for it to be written in law. What is the case, right? It doesn't matter. I mean, it matters if they win or lose. But at the end of the day, the important thing is for it to be over with. Right? XRP is not a security, right? Pay the fines, be over with it, right? It's all about pay to play, in my opinion. So, but anyway, this is just one article that says this, but there's many different theories out there. Here's another one: Ripple versus SEC settlement looming. Here's what you should know. Just talking about the fines. They're trying to do the settlement, courtroom clash. They don't really know when it's going to end. I'm hoping sometime within the next couple months would be really cool. I know there's certain deadlines in April, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But according to the chart, it looks like we're getting close. But if we do have a Bitcoin major correction, if XRP does go into, it breaks that trend line and has a liquidity grab like it did the last time before it exploded, then so be it. But I think at the end of the day, it's getting closer and closer. So, and then another thing is the stablecoin that came out, which is also very bullish. That's just more ammunition, right? People are confused about what the stablecoin is. It's going to play a specific role. XRP, it's only going to benefit XRP. The stable coin is just another layer of Ripple's strategy, right? And their whole strategy is mainly to have XRP grow, right? But, stable coin just adds more validation. Like this article before, the ETF potentially around the corner. Uphold believes, the Uphold executive Martin thinks so. I spoke on this. The biggest hurdle for XRP to achieve is the requirement to obtain a non-security status in the U.S. I mean, they already ruled so, but this is the premises behind the company's ongoing legal battle with the SEC, right? They already won the case, but the SEC, appealed it. Now they have to go to the next court, and it's just all bullcrap. And even says here, with hopes dwindling around Ethereum's ETF approval, right? Because of what's going on with them. Remember ETHgate and all the things about ETHgate. It's just a nest of corruption and lies and deceit and malicious behavior people don't even really understand. And even I don't, to a certain extent. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. Highly recommend listening to Digital Asset Investor, Digital Perspectives. They bring some light to ETHgate, and they cover it when things come out. But they're the two guys who really brought this thing out of the water. So Ethereum's ETF isn't going to be a real good thing. Or, I mean, it's not going to be anytime soon. Maybe it will, maybe it not. But, if the SEC is going to go suing Ethereum, they're not going to approve them for their status, right? The SEC has to approve the ETF. That's the problem, right? Like if it was up to BlackRock, they would do it right now. But the SEC has to approve it. It has to go through the legal framework. And you know how that goes, right? But if XRP wins the lawsuit, they have no choice. They have to approve, right? But Ethereum has security written all over it, according to many. So, they might not want to do it. But remember, an ETF is just a repackaged security. It says, with hopes dwindling around the Ethereum ETF approval, the potential for an XRP ETF may be just in jeopardy. We'll have to wait until March 22nd for that already passed. Remedies and related briefs in the settlement. So now we move on to April. And just know this, Ripple CEO, spot ETFs are inevitable. They are coming. Don't think they're not going to come. They will come without a doubt. So there will be an XRP ETF. It is coming. Zero doubt. It is coming. Now, I don't really feel strongly about ETFs. I think ETFs are just other mechanisms for them to control the price and things like that. What I would rather have is Congress pass a common sense regulation bill. That way, it's the law of the land everywhere. So you can have pension funds, 401ks, hedge funds, institutions, you have BlackRock, Fidelity, you have Grayscale, you have all of them buying crypto and selling, right, as they see fit. Why? Because it's regulated. It's the law of the land. But each coin has to have a specific ETF for this one and this certain law, and it breaks down to be all bull crap. They try to put all this yellow tape around crypto, and it's ridiculous. They just feel that it's a threat to their existing system, and they cannot handle decentralization. They need to have the control. That's why the more they fight it, the more bigger crypto gets, and it's going to be inevitable for what's coming. So, Ripple Labs CEO Brad Garlinghouse appeared on Bloomberg Crypto to discuss topics related to this, and he's basically talking about the potential of a XRP ETF. And, Brad Garlinghouse said that Ripple would welcome an XRP ETF, and that is inevitable, that there will be multiple ETFs around different tokens, not just XRP, but others that are coming out too. So I think it's coming soon. The question is, well, when is that going to be? Well, I'm hoping it'll be this year. I'm hoping it'll be during this, bull run. If not, then the bull run could end much earlier than we think, right? So, it continues on here if you want to read it, but this article's not new, by the way, but it's still, I'm just, people say, oh, that's an old article. Not for me, but just in general. And then I say, well, that's actually a good thing, because the older the article, the closer we are to the goal line, right? If the article just was out yesterday, then it would be more relevant. But at the end of the day, the older the article, right, kind of the better it is, because the closer we are to that goal, right? So, anyways, and then we also have uh, a Ripple IPO, right, which is probably, you know, uh, it'll probably be much later on, but I think it's going to happen any way you look at it, right? So I think a Ripple IPO, XRP ETF, you have the settlement. These are reasons why I continue to hold crypto. I continue to hold XRP, right? I continue. So, all of these reasons are reasons why I continue to buy and hold XRP. From a technical perspective, from a fundamental perspective, from a lawsuit perspective, the settlement, from the XRP ETF perspective, from the IPO perspective. There's so much to look forward to. Why sell now? Why give up now? Right? And then we also have, of course, the chart, which looks very similar, right? We have this same type of thing going on in here, right? So I look at it as only a matter of time, right? Maybe it's a total failure, not financial advice. But the way I see it, I mean, even looking at this chart here, you see a cup, right? Here's our resistance. We're cupping into the resistance. We're cupping into the it looks like a cup and a handle, even a little bit there, right? So I think it's something is poised to happen. Now we do have to have Bitcoin show up to the party, right? But regardless, I think I think it's inevitable for something to gotta give, because you don't just go sideways for 6 years, right? And for nothing. Something is gonna come to a head. And another reason I say that is because if you look at this contracting triangle, right? This is your demand line, right? This is your supply line. People are, giving their supply, right? So when the demand line and the supply line meet, you get this cross, right? You get to the apex of, the decision. So a decision has to be made. It has to be made. Do we come back down for another hit, then go back up? Do we break out? Do we come down and go, break down? Something big is going to happen right in here, because the demand line and the supply line are meeting. Either the price is going to bust out big time or bust down big time. So something will happen. Now, my guess is that it breaks to the upside because of all the bullish things that I've been talking about. If Ripple loses the lawsuit, I think either way, the big point about it is that it's finished, right? So if they lose the lawsuit, then I can see the price. Here's your trend line here. I can see the price dipping low, right? A liquidity grab before going back up. I think it will be the biggest fake out in history. And knowing how the market makers are, it wouldn't surprise me that they come out and say, Ripple lost the lawsuit. Everybody sell. And everybody sells. It dumps down. And then they go, ha ha, I tricked you. And they buy it all up right here. The buy of a lifetime. And then they bring it to the moon. And people go, wait, what the hell? What just happened? What the heck just happened? You got played. That's what just happened. Kind of like how it happened over here, right? Where you're accumulating, everything's normal. Here's your support, right? And the price comes down, no big deal, comes down more, no big deal, and then all of a sudden crash. It comes all the way down here. People sell, people give up, but then what happens? Boom, it comes straight up and goes to the moon. So sometimes you need this liquidity grab, this trap where it shakes out all the weak hands, it liquidates the longs, right? And then it just traps everybody, and then it takes it back to the upside. So you can see, like, look how big this wick is right here. Look at this, where the candle opened up, and then look at it, came all the way back down here, and it liquidated all the longs before then coming back up, right? So it's, you know, it's a tough situation, but at the end of the day, that's why, you know, you want to hodl. If you're trading leverage, you can get liquidated, so got to be careful. But yep, that should do it for this video. I really like how, you know, the price broke above the trend line, right? Because I'm looking at it, you know, like maybe it's a big cup, and then you have a handle here, right? And then you break out, and then you come all the way back down to back test not only the bull market support band, but then also you're back testing the downward resistance line, right? So here's your resistance, resistance, resistance. You break out, and then now you're testing it as support, right? So it looks interesting. So looking at the 3-day candle, it also looks interesting because you have this, anytime you have like a move down, 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 right? And then you have this doji, that's kind of like the signal for a potential top, or in this case, a bottom, right? So let's see if I can find, I mean, they're all over the place, but you can see here, we come up, here's a doji, we come down, and then we have a doji here, we come back up, but then we come back down, and here's another doji before we come back up. So, or a dragonfly, bullish reversal candle, so, or even a bullish hammer candle. So let's see, if I zoom in a little bit, it actually looks pretty, it doesn't look too bad right now. Let's see, we had the daily candle close. It closed as a bullish, or I'm sorry, it hasn't closed yet. So we have 33 minutes for the daily candle to close. So it's going to close back above the bull market support band. It's looking pretty good. If I zoom into this here and I put a downward resistance line, I'd really like to see it break above this line, right? I mean, because here's the low, and we did take out the low, right? So we have an A, B, C. We have a 1, 2, 3. We have this 3-wave move. So the question is that sufficient enough? Well, I would like to see a base come in here, right? And then an explosion to, I mean, that would be great. If not, you know, there's other ideas as well that we can talk about. But in the short term, let's look at the 1 hour here. It looks very corrective. It looks to me like A, B, and now it looks like maybe a C, something like that. So 1, 2, 3 before back down. The question is, when we go down, do we break this low, or do we sort of, you know, go into reaccumulation? If we do break the low, right? If we come down now, or even come back and come down, I would look at it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Let's finish up 5, right? Let's turn the 4 hour on, and let's get some bullish divergence here. So what I would like to see happen is, if the price comes back down and makes a new low, the RSI comes down and makes a new high, that's your bullish divergence. So you have low, low to low, high to low, right? Or low to high, low to low. So, yeah, subscribe to my channel and I will keep you guys updated on XRP. You know, it's the weekend. Usually weekends are, you know, flat. We'll definitely have a bigger answer. You know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday really sets the tone. And lately, Thursdays have been pumpy days, right? They've been green days. So we'll see. We'll see how Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday presents itself. The weekly candle is about to end. Let's look at it. So I really would like to see this weekly candle end a little bit stronger. It is, you know, sort of 50% there. Let's see. If I put it from here down to here, right now it's less than 50%. So I would like this candle to close around 61 cents. If we can close above 61 cents, that would be a miracle. That would be amazing, right? To see that. But regardless, we want to see it hold above the bull market support band. That would be the important thing. And then the following candle, you know, we want to start eventually breaking this range because we have resistance, 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 right? But then we also have, we're wicking off support. So we're getting squeezed in here, right? We're getting squeezed and eventually it's got to make a decision. So we'll get into that as the day approaches. But until next time, I will catch you guys on the next one. If you would be so kind, if you can hit that like button and also drop a comment and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel, there is a crypto YouTube tip jar. You can do so to support the channel. That's always very appreciative. And if you have any coins you want me to take a look at, go ahead and comment below. If you have any information, what's your opinion on the IPO? What's your opinion on the ETF? What's your opinion about you know, the lawsuit and the settlement? What do you think is going to happen in April? I'd love to know your thoughts. And until next time, I'll catch you guys on the next one.